Hi, I am Kerry Lee with the Self-Discovery Wisdom School, here today with Sandy Freschi, and she is our human design guide and expert. Hi, Sandy. Good to see
Hi,
you.
Carrie.
So
Hi,
Sandy,
everybody.
yeah. Sandy is a human design blueprint consultant and intuitive guide. Her initial human design training was through Karen Curry Parker, really well known, where she obtained her highest level of certification. Since then, she's integrated wisdom from traditional and non-traditional schools of human design, which I would like to know more about that at some point, to enhance her intuitive way that she reads the chart. Through the system of human design, Sandy provides life-changing insights and practical guidance that increase your confidence and clarity about who you are, why you're here, and how to leverage your energy to get the most from your life. Sandy, as you know, in the Self-Discovery Wisdom School and in the tradition of intentional creativity, which is my personal method of personal self-discovery and insight, we have what's called the red thread, which is found in many cultures and many traditions. And the one that I relate to for this purpose, well, first of all, what is the red thread? It's about communication, connection, and community. So it's just a way of extending the metaphorical red thread to each other. And there's an ancient Chinese proverb that says everyone who's destined to meet is connected by this invisible red thread. And that thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. And it's kind of like how we found each other, right? We ended up online in the same place. We connected, we clicked, you gave me my human design, and I was like, wow, right? And now here we are, moving forward. So I want to extend this ball of red thread to you, right? You got your piece. And the important thing is, we each are completely different, right? We are literally as unique as our thumbprints or fingerprints. All of us are. And so how that translates to red thread is we each have our piece of the red thread, right? The piece that we are to hold. And so we can cut them, right? And we can say, what is your piece of the red thread? So my question for you about your piece of the red thread is, what is one of your gifts to the world?
Wow. I actually have this gift of helping people make sense of all of the little pieces of thought and idea and experience, and and I can sometimes, especially when I'm working with clients or sitting with friends, I'll just sit and listen and listen and listen, and then all of a sudden it will come together, and I can help them with an observation that encapsulates everything that they're expressing.
Wonderful.
And
Insightful.
usually that just moves them into like a whole other, like it just opens up their world in a way that they hadn't expected.
How fun is that for you and for them?
Yeah, it's really cool when it comes together like that.
So tell me, Sandy, where in the world are you right now?
I am in Northeast Tennessee, just south of the southwestern tip of Virginia and just north of the northwestern tip of North Carolina, in the little wedge.
Okay. Okay. And in that little wedge, you live on a piece of property that gives gifts to the world.
Yeah. My husband and I have well, it's only about 4 or 5. Well, the whole property is about 20 acres that we're looking to bring in other farmers and do some collaborations. But we've actually started about a 4 or 5 acre Asian pear orchard. It has a few other different fruits, but the primary crop is Asian pears. And our aim is to contribute to the sweetness of life within our community.
I love it. And you do that in multiple ways. I love it. All right, so let's move back to one of your other gifts and your other forms of sweetness, which is human design. Tell us more about it. What is that?
Well, human design is a synthesis of like all of the major ancient wisdom systems, and it's brought together. It's things like astrology, the chakra system, the Chinese I Ching, the Kabbalah tree of life, and it's all brought together to show us how we're actually filtering information from the cosmos And what that does to kind of run the mechanics of our energy systems and what we're here to express, what our individual, as you said, Kerry, the individual pieces that we bring to the puzzle of humanity, it explains all of that in one visual representation that has layers and layers and layers of depth of understanding.
And part of me just goes, how can that be? Like, that just seems so esoteric, right? How can that be?
Well, I don't know how it could be. It's a mystery. No, you know, I was thinking about that as I was preparing to get on this call, and the word that came up to me was it's kind of holographic. Like you enter in, and I guess as we talk about this, I'll talk about how you enter in to this understanding of yourself through your human design chart, and then as you take those steps into yourself through this portal of your chart, it opens up in all kinds of sometimes surprising ways. It connects things within you, and it it is really a tool for cellular transformation over time.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my next question: is how is it helpful to discover your design?
How's it helpful to discover your design?
Mm-hmm.
Human design is the only system that I know of where um, you can actually see how your energy system works. Like, you know, psychics and clairvoyants and people who have that second sight can see your energy field, your aura, and all of that. When you look at your human design chart, you actually are looking at a schematic of how different themes in your life are consistently lived out within you, how you are receptive or where you are receptive to being influenced by outside energies. And by understanding all of that, you begin to understand what's you, what's not, what you can let go of that has maybe conditioned or programmed you away from your true north, your authentic direction in life.
Yeah. And I found that not only does it help like understanding of self, but it helps you understand others, right, as well, which is a big deal. You
Oh
know?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because there are those aspects of your chart where it's really important to understand others
right,
because they affect you. And
right.
then, you know, if you're a coach or you're a guide or a healer, knowing someone else's chart can really help you to guide them into their alignment and authenticity.
Or even family members, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Better
yeah.
relationships, better flow, deeper acceptance and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so are we like, if we have the same parts of our design, are we like others, or is everyone different? Like, is it that unique that everyone is different?
Well, everybody, no two charts are exactly alike. Like even if you're a twin, or you're born, you find someone in the world who is born at exactly the same time, the same place, you know, in the same hospital, whatever. There are there are depths and layers to the chart, which is really advanced, but that where it relies on the very second that you were born to
Wow. Okay.
understand.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there are those minute differences,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, the if you look at the human design chart or your human design chart as a blueprint, you can think of it as like, okay, here's the blueprint for the house, my house that I live in, right?
Right.
Um, but it doesn't necessarily tell me what colors I'm going to put on the walls, or you know what I'm going to use for flooring. It's just the basics of how does this energy run? What are the major themes? What are the potentials? But in the end, you kind of have the choice to live out those potentials or not.
Right. Right. Free will. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You know, I think you put it in the metaphor of vehicles, different kinds of vehicles.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Well, that's a traditional human design concept, you know, that our consciousness is riding in the backseat of the vehicle, and it's our heart resonance that is moving us through life. And one of the major things, getting back to your question of what you get from really going in and living from your design, is that you naturally begin to open up to your authentic heart resonance, which then attracts life to you, puts you on your true north, and allows your compass to get you to where you are ultimately designed to be.
And you can just be in that back seat and enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you recommend that everyone who learns their design, how they apply it in their life?
Well, first of all, like when the first layer of understanding your design are the layers of understanding what your energy type is, which shows you how your aura, your energy field works and interacts with others. Understanding your strategy, that when you practice your strategy, it helps you to release resistance and move with better flow. It helps you to sit in the back seat and enjoy the ride. And your decision-making authority, which is how you body senses, your embodied sense of what's best for you, understanding that. So in traditional human design, we talk about entering into the experiment. And the experiment on that, in those first steps, is about practicing your strategy and learning how to listen to your innate decision-making authority. Trying it out, seeing if it works for you, reflecting upon times in your past of when it did work, when it didn't work, and really just sort of proving out this whole thing for yourself. So that's the first step that I recommend for people who come to a reading with me, is like, just try this out. Let's get you grounded in the way that you're here to make decisions, understanding what your energy system is about and how to take care of it. And that can take up 7 years to sort of master. So
I believe it. Because in some ways you almost need to deprogram or decondition.
Yep, that's exactly what we call it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
experiencing it, so that's why I'm able to speak from my own experience of learning this.
And it really is like a cellular transformation. It's a cellular transformation. If you think about, it takes about 7 years for all your cells to turn over, and to make new cells within your entire body. It's a 7-year deconditioning process of cellular transformation. It doesn't stop at 7 years, as I'm like 10 years in. There's another level of it, and it goes on, because we're always growing, evolving, changing, transforming.
Right. I found that really fascinating, not related, but related, the 7 years, because it was 7 years ago that I fully went into the method that I'm using, intentional creativity. And it's absolutely been a unwinding of past corporate programming, I'm going to say, and life programming that I had, and also the peeling away of my artichoke or my onion to get the clarity. And now it's 7 years and I've got that clarity, and I feel like I've really made that cellular shift, and the Self-Discovery Wisdom School idea comes into form. So I love that, because that really made sense to me. Yeah. So what's the most common response that you get when people have their design conversations with you after they've received their chart?
The most common response I get is this sense of confirmation. And people a lot of times feel so relieved, because deep inside they know what's best for them. They know what they're really about. And a lot of times they've been judged or criticized or programmed or conditioned in ways where who they really are is not, where they believe that who they really are is not okay. So now they have like this confirmation, this thing on paper, or this image that says that they can always refer back to, of, okay, this is who I really am. If I trust this, if I live in this, then this is what's going to get me into, or move me into a better expression or a higher expression of who who I know I'm here to be, what I know
Right,
I'm here to experience.
right, right. And so how has that helped you in your life, the knowing that you've got now?
Well, for me, it is kind of like still the peeling of the, the peeling away of the levels of the onion. And I'm always amazed at when I peel away another layer, what is revealed to me,
Yeah,
and I guess to begin with, there was that kind of relief that I didn't have to push myself to do things that innately I knew
yeah,
didn't work for me. And then, it has helped me kind of find my way into, okay, well, if these things that I was doing are not working, then what could work and what is more congruent with how I'm designed to operate?
yeah, yeah,
So, it's helped me with stress management. It's helped me in my relationships. It's helped me in my business and career. And I'm still restructuring that. I think a lot of humanity, a lot of humans are right now
yeah,
anyway, so there's another layer and another layer. And
yes.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and it's funny, this metaphor of the onion, I have decided that I like the metaphor of the artichoke more because, we're more complicated than an onion, right?
That's
And
true.
it is, and we have all these leaves, and again, in the Self-Discovery Wisdom School, we're going about it in many different approaches, a holistic view of ourselves with these different ways of self-discovery, and that's the steaming of the artichoke, right? So if we steam
Oh,
ourselves, it's so easy just to pluck off and enjoy those leaves, right? And then what's in the middle? What's at the bottom of the artichoke? A heart. And it's
yeah,
got this fuzzy stuff around it, right? And so
I love
you
that.
also have to release that fuzzy stuff as we go. But I think we are artichokes.
I love that. And I love artichokes. That's one of the things I want to grow on my property.
Yeah, yeah, me too, me too. Well, I want to share how it's really helped me as well because you've been a catalyst on why the Self Discovery Wisdom School is coming together with the information that I have received from you, and it's definitely given me an ease of the way I experience life now, and also a big, I don't know, aha, like understanding myself in a different way. And what I mean by that specifically is especially the decision-making process. I know that one of my strengths is that I can assess a situation, make a decision quickly, and go forward. But that means I'm moving quick, which I move quick a lot. But you gave me the insight that yes, feel it in my gut, like feel my response in my gut. And even for me, start noticing if I actually make a sound, which I never noticed before. So I'm now paying attention to, am I verbal when I'm getting hit with these gut reactions? But then the super important part that I have discovered is to let it cycle through my emotional cycle. And
Mm.
and I always sort of knew I'm even keeled. Like I don't really have this kind of emotion. But when you told me that I actually do have an emotional cycle, I had this aha, you're right. And the way I looked at it was I always thought my energy was like the ocean waves,
Mm-hmm.
in and out, right? And I knew that when it was out, I was recharging my batteries in some form. But what you've given me is the permission to relax when it's in that out. I don't have to push through it. It's okay to let my energy and my physical energy, my mental energy, my creative energy, all of it, to let it just go down and go through this period of what you call melancholy, right? Which is really, to me, it's just kind of like, where's my inspiration? It's not here right now. And I'm so used to being an inspired being. But now I know that I'm getting recharged, and it happens every time. And I
Mm-hmm.
come back and I come back out with more creative ideas and more clarity. So that has been huge for me to understand that about myself, and definitely better for my physical health as well, you know?
Oh, yes, and just that one little nugget of knowing how your particular emotional cycles work. And I know you've done a lot of work because you really latched onto that right away. You already had like the pre-observation of that,
Yeah,
and I just came in with the confirmation
I've,
of,
I've
yeah,
lived
this is
some life.
this is how it is, and then you could refine your observation.
Yes.
And by doing that, I imagine that you probably just came into this bigger, wider deeper acceptance, like, oh, I don't have to do
Exactly.
anything about this. I don't have to push myself when I don't feel like it. I'm just going to sit and wait and watch
Yeah.
and move through it and be with it until I get to the
Yes.
next phase of it.
Yeah. And actually enjoy that. Actually
Yeah.
not fight it, but enjoy it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a completely different experience for me. So thank you for that. And
Yeah.
as someone who's really young and hasn't had all the years to figure it out themselves, what a great clue of self-insight, right? To get in your younger years to understand this and be aware and build it over time and get the
Yeah.
affirmations. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah. And
thing, go ahead.
oh, well, I was going to say, and by contrast, there are people like me who don't even have those waves of emotions. And sometimes, if we don't know that, we're experiencing other people's in such an amplified way that we think it's ours. And then there's all this confusion and this chaos that happens internally for a person like me who, when they can't see that, they don't understand that, where they're
Yes.
trying to something about those emotions when they're not even they don't have anything to do with that person's experience.
Right, right. And what a beautiful thing to see that we don't need to be like each other. We just need to figure out our way. That's just
Mm-hmm.
so wonderful, right?
It
Um,
is.
the other thing that you shared with me in my learnings about my design is something that really affirmed my purpose and passion of creating the self-discovery wisdom school, which is that because I have a defined sacral center, you told me that I can work consistently to build sustainable programs and I get
Yes.
structures to maintain them and sustain others. And this has been a long, it feels like it's been an 11-year journey for me to get here. But that just affirmed, like, yes, that was the bits and the parts and the pieces that I was collecting along the way, right? Until now I've got it and I do see how it can go into the future. So that gives me confidence in where I'm putting my efforts. So thank you for that gift as well.
Yeah. And that's really another gift I think that people do get as they start to align with what's in their design is this whole sense of confidence, that
Yeah.
that you kind of understand what you can count on about
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And and by contrast, I'm kind of like the exact opposite of your design.
I
So
love
I don't have that sustainability of being able to create structures and systems and build things like that. But I can trust and watch, be invited, like you invited me
I did.
into your
Yeah.
program. And all my job was at that point, prior to that, was just to be in my own alignment so
Mhm.
that I can be recognized. So once you understand those nuances of like what you're about, how your operating system works, how to take care of it, what your particular role is through
Yeah.
the way your aura works,
Yeah.
it just makes it just makes it so much more fun, because you're not trying to, you can settle into what you really have to offer, and that attracts the people who are needing what it is that you're offering, or who are looking for what it is that you're offering. Sorry
Right.
about the train.
Barely hear it. It's okay. So I want to ask you a personal question. Was there a defining moment when you decided to dive deeper into learning about human design and then even to guide others with your learning?
Yes, there was absolutely a defining moment, and it came when I was finishing up my life coaching certification. And we got to the modules around how do you go about building a business, how do you go about creating a business. And I had been introduced to my human design chart several years before, and was at that point practicing with my strategy and my decision making authority, and really trying to get my feet wet with all of that. But we got to this point where there the way that I was being taught of to get business was to go out and make calls and initiate things. And that's totally opposite of how I'm designed to operate. And I started down that road a little bit, and I realized that this was not going to work for me. And I remembered that that's like totally contrary to the way I operate. So that's what sort of catapulted me into finding Karen's programs and really studying human design and really getting deeper into my own alignment with my design. And at that point, you know, it was like, oh, I could see, you know, not only is it going to help me to be better at my business, but it's also going to help me to guide my clients as I'm coaching them to know
Yeah.
what they're about.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So what are you looking forward to with being a part of the Self-Discovery Wisdom School?
I'm looking forward to the community
Mm-hmm.
and just being a part of that, and being a presence within all of the energies. I'm really excited about how this is coming together, and I'm looking forward to you know, providing my flavor of guidance
Yeah.
to the group and to individuals in the group, and just seeing how people grow and come into their own
Yes.
with that.
Me too. Me too. All right. Do you have any words of wisdom for anyone who's in transition right now?
First thing that comes up is breathe.
Yes,
Remember to breathe.
absolutely. The breath of life. Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, transition, especially now, like, you know, globally, you know, collectively, it's happening. It's kind of like uh, having a baby, you know, being in labor. There's not really a whole lot, the process is going to happen.
Yes.
So what do you do to be with that process? You just breathe and you go with it, and you go with the ebb and the flow of it, and you know, and it's inevitable.
Yes, it is. It is. You know, and speaking of the flow, so that's one of the words I use a lot, because being in your flow, understanding yourself in that way that it does feel like flow, is definitely one of the objectives of what we're doing. And you also gave me some other great words about your definition of flow, which was the way you feel inside, good, no resistance, and everything just seems to line up in an effortless way. And I thought that was a beautiful description of what I mean by flow, and sometimes I have a harder time finding the words. So yeah, the
Mm.
flow. And you know, the song that popped up is, well, it's the lines from Lady Gaga's "I Was Born This Way," right?
Ah, that's perfect.
Embrace it. Yeah. All right. Sandy, thank you for being here with me today. And where can we learn more about you?
My website is sandyfreschi.com, and it's Sandy with a Y,
Okay,
FRESCHI.com.
excellent. Great. Thank you for that. And the Self-Discovery Wisdom School can be found for right now on my website, which is kerryleeart.com, as well as there's a Facebook group, and everyone is welcome to join that. It's called the Self-Discovery Wisdom School. Thank you. I look forward to
Thank
speaking
you.
with you soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.